Hello everyone and welcome to your next maths lesson. I'm just going to share our learning objective to start with. Okay, so yesterday you're using your tens and your ones and crossing out your tens and your ones to find your answer. Today's lesson we are going back to using an empty number line. So your learning objective is to understand how to use the number line to subtract two-digit numbers and ones. So we are just sticking with the two-digit numbers and ones today, and then we'll be moving on to two-digit numbers and tens, and then two-digit numbers and minus two-digit numbers. Okay, so we're going to be using the number line method over the last few days. So looking at your success criteria, so number one says I can draw an empty number line. Number two, I can label it with a large number at the end. I can jump backwards in ones. I can label the jumps to find the totals. So here's our empty number line. Let's start off then with something like 34 subtract 2, a nice easy one to start with. So first thing I'm going to do is draw my empty number line. Remember, neat presentation, just like we would in class. Your number lines always looked beautiful, so try to do the same thing at home for me, please. So when we were using this method for addition, we started with our larger number up this end. However, when we're subtracting, because we're going backwards and we need to be able to do backwards jumps, we're going to start with a larger number up this end. So the number that we start with, the number in our calculation here, that's the one we're going to put up this end. Okay, so remember I said yesterday that in Key Stage 2, when you get onto even trickier calculations, it won't necessarily be the larger number that you put at the end, but for us in Key Stage 1, we do put the larger number. We do say that it's the larger number, okay, but we're going to put this first number up this end. Okay, then I'm going to look at this number here, so that's what I need to subtract. That also tells me how many jumps I need to do. So if I think about my place value grid, in the number 2, I only have 2 ones. So let me just draw those 2 ones there. I don't have any 10s in just the number 2. So I'm going to use what I know to help me think about how many jumps backwards I'm going to do. So 2 ones, so I'm going to do 2 jumps of 1 backwards. Do you remember I said when we did it with addition, our jump needs to come out the head of that number. So here's 1 jump back. And here's our other jump back. So that we remember what it is that we've subtracted, we need to put above it what we have subtracted. So I've taken away 1 each time. Okay, and in total I've taken away 2. Of course, we're not finished there because it still doesn't tell us the answer. So we've got 34. So we follow what the jumps say. 34, take away 1. Or we could also be thinking about what number comes before 34. If you're finding that tricky, you can either draw your tens and your ones, 34, and then take away 1 by crossing it out. Or you could look at your 100 square. Okay, so 34, take away 1 is 33. Take away another 1 gets us to 32. Remember as well that when you are writing your numbers, make sure you do it right underneath the jump. Otherwise, we might not get the correct answer. So if we end up writing the number in the middle of the jump, we won't necessarily get the right one. Okay, let's just clear this. How do I get it bigger? Okay, let's do this with a different calculation this time. So let's do it with 58 subtract 6. Okay, so draw my empty number line. My starting number is going to go at the end. I'm going to look at this number here. Think about my tens and my ones. There are no 10s in the number 6. There are 6 1s. So that means I'm going to do 6 jumps of 1 backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Always double check your jumps just to make sure we're being accurate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, label my jumps. -1 each time. And then I'm going to label the jumps underneath. Again, making sure I've left myself enough room to be able to write my numbers underneath. So make sure you do that as well. 58 take away 6 equals 52. Okay, if I was to look back at the success criteria then and think about which ones I've been able to do. So was I able to draw an empty number line? Absolutely. Was I able to label it with the large number at this end? Absolutely. Was I able to jump back in ones? Yeah, that's what we're focusing on today, isn't it? Just jumping back in ones. And was I able to label the jumps to find the totals? I was. Okay, so I've just shown how you can meet the success criteria. It's your turn now. The questions on the web page. There are also some challenge questions which are missing number problems if you feel confident in doing so.